Hey everybody, JR from JR's Cars, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to change the transmission fluid in your first generation Chevy Traverse. So stick around and I'll show you how to get it done. So I just bought this Traverse recently, and from the Carfax history, I can't see any transmission services completed on this yet. I don't know if it has or hasn't, but the transmission fluid really doesn't look terrible. But it's definitely due for a change. And being that I said, obviously I just purchased it, I want this to last a while. I'm going to do the transmission fluid change now so I know when it was changed and I know the next time I need to do a service. So if you've been around the channel for a while, you've seen me change the transmission fluid on a couple different cars. I've had the Ford Escape, I've had my Honda Accord, and this one here now I'm going to do today. The similar theme with all of these newer cars and newer generation cars is that they don't have serviceable transmission filters in them anymore. So you really have to maintain the transmissions in these cars to make sure that you have longevity with them too and you don't have premature failure. And this Chevy is no different. The only difference is that Chevy was really smart with this, and they actually gave you a transmission dipstick in it so you can actually check the transmission fluid in the car, which is right down there. So of course the first thing you want to do is get it up in the air and then set your parking brake. Get yourself something cozy to lay on and get yourself an empty drain pan, because what you want to do is you want to drain the fluid out, and then after you drain the fluid out, you want to measure how much you took out so you know roughly how much you're going to want to put back into the transmission. Okay, so honestly, this is the first time I've gotten underneath the truck since I've owned it, so I'm going to go down there with you and we're going to see what we're going to look at. Now, this was a Connecticut car, so what do you think we're going to find under here? All right. Actually, it really doesn't look bad at all. Not at all. That's pretty good. So we're gonna get underneath the car and I'll show you what you have to do. All right, so now that we're underneath the truck here, you can see this here is your transmission, and that right there is your drain plug. So that's an 11mm bolt. You're gonna grab your drain pan, put it underneath, and drain that out. So I'm gonna get everything in the position. We'll start loosening this up, and I wanna see what the fluid looks like when we start dropping it. All right, so the first thing you want to do is get your fill opened up. So just go down here, twist it off, and just loosely have it there so it's loose on the cap and you have some airflow coming in, because when you drop it from down below, it'll go out a little bit quicker and it's not going to cause that suction. All right, so now I have this loose. I'm going to take the bolt out here, and I have a white paper towel just handy, because what I like to do is I like to, as it's draining out, I like to have it hit the white paper towel to see what color the fluid is and see how things look. So let's go. Let's see. All right, so it's definitely not red, but I've seen worse, definitely. And just so you can see, this is why I take the white paper towel like that, because then I can actually see what the color of the fluid looks like. So it's definitely not red. It's definitely due for a change. So not a big deal. We'll let that drain out and then we'll come back. So while that's finishing draining out, I'm just going to say that this is just preventative maintenance at this point. I've had no issues with the transmission in this. It feels really smooth, really nice. I noticed the color was a little bit off. Obviously, it looks like it's been a little bit of time since the transmission fluid was changed. So again, I want this to last for a while. So I want to do this as preventative maintenance. Now, doing this method is only going to drop what's in the pan. So you got to remember that the torque converter is going to have a whole bunch more fluid in it, and so is the transmission cooler too, which is in the radiator. So it's not going to get everything, but it is going to get some of the fluid out. So realistically, I'm probably going to do this now. It's got like 98,000 miles on it. I'm probably going to do it in about another 20,000 miles too. to cycle in a little bit more fresh fluid in there too. Alrighty, so it's just down to a drip. I'm good with that. So now cleaned up my drain plug. I'm going to put that back in and just tighten it up a little bit. It doesn't need to be way over torqued, just needs to be snug. And there we go. And that's it. We're done on the bottom. We'll just clean that up a little bit, and then we'll go back up to the top and fill it after we measure how much came out. Okay, so after taking the measurements, I took about 5.5 quarts out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in with roughly 5 quarts just to start with, and then I'll run it a little bit, cycle it through the gears, check the level, take it for a little spin, and then if I need to add a little bit more, I can. Now that we're ready to fill it back up, let me show you what I'm using. The Valvoline, it's a fully synthetic Dextron 6 Mercon LV. You want to make sure that right here it shows that it's officially licensed for Dextron 6. And then you can see down below that it's recommended for Chevy, Cadillac, Buick, and GMC vehicles. The reason why you don't want to use one of those multi-vehicle transmission fluids is because this is specifically formulated with the friction modifiers that this transmission needs. If you don't put the right transmission fluid in, you can get torque converter shudder, you can get some irregular shifts, which can end up leading to premature failure of your transmission. So you want to make sure that you're using the right fluid for your vehicle. So now it's time to start filling up. So what you want to do is get your fill cap off, get yourself a long funnel, get it down in there, and start filling her up. Okay, so I've gotten the 5 quarts in, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the engine for a little bit. I'm going to cycle it through the gears. I'm going to check the fluid before I go take it for a ride. I'm going to take it for a quick ride, bring it back here, get it on a nice level surface. Then I'm going to check the trans fluid again to make sure I don't need to add any more. And then we'll call this job done. I'm going to show you what the transmission fluid likes after just that drop and fill. You can see what the difference looks like in the transmission fluid already. So you can see that it definitely looks a little bit more pink than it did before, right? So I think we should be good for a while. We can go through, drive it another 15, 20,000 miles and then do another drop and fill, and I think we should be good. So there you have it. That's how easy it is for you to change the transmission fluid on your first generation Chevy Traverse. So do me a favor, if this video helped you out, give it a like, drop your comments down below, and subscribe to the channel because I do have a story to go along with this truck too. So when I'm ready to post that and I have that video ready, you'll be the first one to see it. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.